Page 26, the storm. Well, this looks ugly, don't it? Let's talk about it. First, this little chart thing they got going. They call this a middle D half-step position. Never heard of that before? Well, let's talk about it. What it is your thumbs are on middle or on D again. There's no such thing as middle D. Only instead of the white keys, now we got to use the black keys. So we scrunch up a little bit. We put the here and here. And this is all you get. A half step, remember, is the shortest distance between two notes. It's a white to a black, or a black to a white, or if there is no black key in there, it's a white to a white. That's half step, and this piece apparently is using half step someplace. I'm going to have to take both hands together here because it's kind of going back and forth. So at the beginning, it's 4/4 time. We got eighth notes all over the place, 1 and 2 and 3 and. And what that is it's your your index fingers are on the black keys here. Just keep that in mind. So we're using third finger here. So it's C, 1 and then a B. The left hand's moving around, or not moving, but it's changing notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Get the idea? Isn't this fun? Oh boy. Next line, now it's a D and an F. Now a D flat. Top of page 37, you're back to what you were doing at the beginning here. Third finger on that C. Second line, up again, back to this. Third finger. Here. And the last measure of the second line, you're here. And then come up with the right hand to here. You just got to move. You got a quarter rest to do it. You just come up and move. Fermata, quarter note, I'm going to hold that 2 counts instead of 1 when we play it with a metronome, so just hang on to it a little extra. If you're not using a metronome, you just hang on to it to what feels right and then let go. Both hands come up at the same time. Yeah, well. Now, third line on page 27, this is a little different. Now it's here, fourth finger and third finger. Now remember our position here, because we're here. So fifth finger here and his third finger here. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. D sharp. That second D is still a sharp. Remember, the accidental applies for the rest of the measure. So again. And here, 4 and 2 in the left hand. That's all you're doing there. This is great. Now they want you to repeat that. The line above it, the reverse repeat sign, and this time they want the right hand, just the right hand, go up an octave. Second time 8V8, it's just the right hand. If it were both hands, they'd have to say both hands. They didn't do that, so it's just the right hand. And it's instead of here, you go up here. The right hand, the left hand stays there. Like so. And then at the bottom there's a DC al fine. That DC means go back to the beginning. That's just across the board. It always means that. Go to the beginning. Find the beginning of the piece, wherever it is, and go there. So we're going back to the top of page 26. Back over here. Your right hand has to come down. You got 1 beat rest to do that in. And you're back here. The fine is the second ending there on page 27. Second line, that's where you end. So, work it out so you got the notes and the rhythm. Get rid of the hesitations. Then we can add the slurs. Really the only articulation you have are the slurs. And here, connect the notes. You can go ahead and lift up between each slur, each measure. I don't care for that. That's what they did, so okay. So at the beginning it's... all it is all the way through. And when you get over the third line on page 27, it's 2 measure slurs here. You have an accent in the left hand there, you see that? Give that a little extra oomph. that's the articulation. Then we add the dynamics. Now, dynamic-wise, I got problems with the way they've notated this. If I try and do it exactly as it is, it's so difficult I can't do it, believe it or not. After all the playing I've done, I can't do their dynamics the way they want. So, I'm going to suggest here at the beginning, you're soft in the top and you're moderately loud in the bottom, and the crescendo applies to both hands. So just the bottom, the left hand is louder than the right, really, and then you crescendo just a little bit up to loud. So the second line, that loud to me applies to the left hand, and the right hand can go up to maybe moderately loud, but I'd keep it's the left hand we want to hear. So here, a little louder, now loud. When you get to top of page 27, the piano, the P, and then get louder. To me, that's both hands now. I'm going to play it like I did at the beginning. I'm going to come back down. Gradually get louder, and then gradually get softer. And then the third line, you're soft. This is really the right hand. But you're going to crescendo up to the next measure. Go up to loud, it's okay. Go back down to soft. Like so, it's my opinion of it. I could be incorrect on that, but I think that's sort of how I would try that. Now in the second line, after you've done the DC, the second time you're doing this, there's second time retardando. So the final time you play it, second time, slow down a little bit, and then at the last ending there, you get softer. So slow down to the end, get softer. That's my impression of the dynamics, but you can experiment with the dynamics, have fun with it. It's a storm, you gotta make it sound like a storm occasionally, I guess. Now they've added pedal. That should be interesting. So let's look at how they're doing the pedal. I'm just gonna pedal it exactly like they're telling me to. So let's see if we understand this right. At the beginning, I'm gonna push the pedal down right after I play the C. I'm gonna hold it down for the first measure. I'm going to lift it up before I play the C in the next measure. So there's a little silence. So the first line is that. Same thing at the end of the line. I'm going to lift it up before I play the first note in the next line, so there's a little silence there. So to do the whole page on page 26 is that, and then the second line you hold it down for the whole line, yeah. And you lift it up before you go to the next page, so there's a little silence. We want this edginess because that's part of the storm, I guess. At top of page 27, first line's the same way. You pedal it for each measure, and the second line you hold it down until you play the half note. Here, this is the second line on page 27. And there, right after I play that half note, I lift the pedal up, so it's by itself. Then the next line, we don't pedal the first measure. Now we pedal it, the next measure, but after I play the whole note. You lift it up before I go to the next line, so there's a little silence there. So to do the last two lines on page 27. At the end there, I lift it up with hands so we get one beat rest. Up. And then we go back to the beginning. Like so. That's the way the pedal does. There at the end, the second ending there on page 27. Lift it up after you play the whole half note, and leave it up. Then you don't need the pedal anymore after that. And that's basically the storm as I understand it. Allegro's fast, and I don't know how fast is. You decide what's fast for you. How fast do you want your storm to go? How fast can you play it accurately? Remember, when you get to the third line on 27, how fast? How fast can you play that? Well, if I were going to really play it fast, I wouldn't finger it that way. That's awkward. But just leave it that alone there, and however fast you can play this is how fast you go at the beginning. You see, when you're picking out a tempo for a piece of music, you got to find the hardest part of it, and how fast can you play that? And that tells you how fast you can play the rest of it. Don't play one part of this going, and then get over to the hard part and go, Don't change tempos like that. The whole thing's got to be one speed unless you're going to do a retardando or something. I'd like to play this very, very slowly with you to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics, just the notes and the rhythms. And we are going to do the repeats and all that stuff. So I'll give us 4 counts. Let's go try this together. 1 and 2 and ready and go and. Next line. Repeat. To the beginning. Second ending. 1, 2, hold.